Good morning, Big Block Realty. Hope everyone is doing well today. I'm excited to be back. Was gone last week in Vegas for some work, and I'm excited to be back and share with you just a few thoughts, some key components, some ideas around what it takes for you to actually be able to put yourself in a position to do 50 plus deals next year. None of this stuff is like a breakthrough idea. This is the foundation. This is the base of what it's going to take, the key components to help you thrive in any market, any year, at any time. So we'll quickly break these things down. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet for you. I know that we're all zoomed out. And if you have any questions, as always, comment on the Facebook thread, and I'll make sure to get back to you, or send me a direct message. So the first thing that I wrote down, if we really want to take our business to the next level and do 50 plus deals next year, is we have to accept the fact that you need to work on your skills. Look, I don't care what anybody says, what guru you hear from, or what book you read. The biggest unfair competitive advantage that you can have in this business is your skill set. It's the skill set of selling, communicating, previewing, getting people to get along and follow you. It's the skill set of having a strong mindset. You really have to focus on increasing your skill sets in places that you have deficiencies. So I would look at, how is my communication and my prospecting? How is my lead follow-up? How am I at the listing table? How is my communication? How is my mindset? Look at the components that are a factor in really success in any business, especially in a sales business like ours, and ask yourself where you're falling short. And then build a plan to focus on developing that skill. There's no shortage of content and trainers, and every day we're doing a class. There's no shortage of information to help you focus on those skills. And if you do that exercise for yourself and determine, I really need to focus on X or Y, let me know, and maybe we'll make that one of our upcoming classes. So number 2, we have to have a complete makeover on our schedule. You have to completely make over your schedule. If you really want to go from, let's say you're doing 10 or 12 to get to the point where you're doing 30, 40, 50 plus, it's going to require you to make over your schedule and focus on putting your time behind true income generating activities. I wrote down, we have to avoid, or in other words, no more pretending like you're busy. We all do it, right? I find myself sometimes at the office pretending like I'm busy as opposed to actually be working on income generating activities. And you have to stop thinking like a real estate agent and start thinking like a top producer. A top producer is always trying to maximize their time. A top producer has a very set, defined schedule. They know what they're doing every hour on the hour. And a top producer is going to make sure that they're not spending their time on $10, $20, $30 an hour activities. So, change the mindset as I'm a real estate agent and start thinking as if you're a top producer already. And then ask yourself, what stuff on my schedule should I not be doing? And then find ways to get that stuff off of your schedule using stuff like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, and TaskRabbit.com. There's a lot of good resources so that you can really get the low, the essentially the stuff that doesn't generate you any income off your plate, and then build your schedule around having time to focus on the things that really move the needle. And ideally, you're doing those things closer to the morning than the afternoon, when your energy is higher and you're feeling a lot better. The next question I have for you on your schedule is, as you're looking at your schedule, you should be asking yourself this question: am I actively spending at least 80% of my day working on getting a listing or a contract sold? And if your 80% of your day is not focused on getting a listing or getting a buyer or getting a contract executed, then your schedule probably needs some love. So let's make sure that we get very, very strong on our schedule. And again, if you need any help with any of this, I'm happy to jump on a call. Just let me know. Number 3 is expect failing as a normal daily activity. I'm going to say that again. Expect failing and embarrassment as a normal daily activity. There's not much to say except for, watch this. It's part of our lives. It's not going to go anywhere. So your ability to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, your ability to accept failure and rejection on a regular basis, and keep moving forward and working through your schedule and the things that you need to do, that's the backbone of your ability to keep going. Look, I heard someone say, if I never quit, how can I ever fail? And I want you to think about that. If you don't have the ability to allow yourself to quit because you got rejected or you got embarrassed and you just keep moving forward, then how can you ever fail? And the reality is you can't. It's the idea that if I just keep going, my skills will improve, my attitude will improve, my confidence will improve, and all of these things will compound against each other and help me become better at my job. See, the person that wins the most at one time was a person that got their ass kicked a lot, right? And we have to remember that all of the yeses you're looking for in this business, the yes is surrounded by a bunch of no's. So you have to go through the no's, get rejected, get embarrassed. You have to go through that process in order to get to the yeses that we're all looking for. Number 4, you have to start to become a master of your numbers. If you track your numbers, you can build a real plan. What I mean by that is, do you know how many contacts it takes before you get an appointment for the different categories of people that you're calling? Do you know how much lead follow-up time it takes before you get a conversion? Do you know what percentage of your listing appointments turn into contracts? What percent of your contracts turn into closings? When you know these things and you know those numbers, you can very quickly at a glance look at your production or your activities and see if you're on pace, ahead of pace, or behind pace. And then it also helps you build a real plan. Once I know my numbers and I've set a goal, so for instance, if my goal is to do 50 sides and I know that it takes me 65 contacts to an appointment, I close 8 out of 10 appointments and 9 out of my 10 contracts close. Well, all of a sudden, I know that, okay, well, I have to get 65 contacts in. I know I can get this many from my database. So when I have real numbers, it takes the guessing out of the game, and it helps me build a real predictable, duplicatable plan that all I have to do is wake up and execute on. So if you're not tracking your numbers, it's something I highly suggest you start doing quickly. And the numbers, again, that you want to track is your contacts to appointments, your appointments to contracts, your contracts to closing. And then in the first section of contacts to appointments, there's different categories. So what is it on expireds? What is it on buy owners? What is it when you're calling your database? If you're circle dialing, calling leads that you purchased, you really need to know those numbers so that you can start to build a predictable plan for yourself. Last 2 points. Number 5, you have to be willing to give up what normal agents do. There's a lot of things that we are told by other agents, oh, try this, try that. And what the normal agent does is they continue to try a bunch of different programs, a bunch of different magic pills, as opposed to just building a plan around the skill sets and the activities that you know you're good at, you know is already producing results for you. The normal agent starts and stops and starts and stops, tries new programs, invests in all these different things. Or the normal agent doesn't even pick up the phone and hangs out in a normal time in the office. And you really, one of the best lessons I learned when I got into the business is someone told me, if you really want to win and produce at a high level, I want you to look at any agent on either side of you and just work harder than them. If you work harder than the person to the left and the person to the right, you're always going to win the game. So in this business, if you just put your head down and you don't do what normal agents do, you grind it out. I mean, the amount of money that you can make is ridiculous. There's doctors that spend half their life going through medical school and everything it takes to get their ability to be a doctor. And you, with the right amount of effort and skill set and consistency, in just a matter of years, can be outperforming them income-wise. But that means you can't be or do what normal agents do. You have to be extraordinary. You have to be remarkable. You have to be the person that's willing to do what other people won't do so you can have what other people don't have. And I know you've heard that before. Last point I'll make is this, and I'll probably do a whole class on this next time. I believe that it's the backbone for my ability to be an effective salesperson and kind of help get what I want in the sales process, and that's mastering personality styles. Mastering personality styles. There's a lot of different books on this. I would pick one up and read it. Also, next week I'll do a class on this. There's only 4 personality styles. There's the driver, the expressive, the amiable, and the analytical. And all 4 of these people think and like to be and communicate with you differently. So we have to learn that if I'm speaking to an amiable and I'm an expressive, I can't speak to the amiable as an expressive would. I have to speak to them the way they like to be spoken to. And I have to help them understand the process the way they would like to understand the process. For example, an analytical is very into facts and figures. So when I know that I'm talking to an analytical, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to slow it down, I'm going to focus on the facts, the figures, and really get analytical with that engineer type brain. And as an expressive, which is what I am, facts and figures for the most part are, they make me sick, right? Like I want to know the most important information in the least amount of time. Tell me what I have to know, and let's make the process fun. So you can imagine that when you're talking to people, it's important that you communicate with them the way that their brain digests information. So I'll do a class on that next week. And again, if there's anything I can do to support all of you with any of this stuff, please let me know. And also let me know, I'm trying to keep these things under 15 minutes because I feel like everyone is pretty zoomed out. I can tell by the fact that every time I'm on Facebook, there's a ton of Zooms going on. And obviously engagement is sometimes great, sometimes high and low, but let me know what you think about trying to keep it under 15 minutes, or if you like the idea of going longer. And if there's anything else that we can do content-wise and training-wise that you think would help you right now, please let us know. I hope you guys have a great day. Finish off the week strong. We love you. We appreciate you. And I cannot wait to see you in person. Take care. Bye-bye.